Hello, Internet. Today, we're going to take this pint bottle of vodka and turn it into a moss wall terrarium for completely free, provided you own some super glue. So, grab some moss, grab some coffee, or maybe something stiffer, and let's get scaping. First, we're going to take these branches and glue them to the side of the bottle for aesthetic framing. Due to the shape, this was a little bit annoying, but not too bad. The shape of this second branch was a little bit more annoying and quickly became an exercise in patience. Let us understand the difference between tranquility and complacency. In a stream, a rock is complacent. As the stream slowly beats down on it, over time it becomes eroded. Yet the stream is tranquil. The rock may be in its path, but it continues unimpeded to its destination. The obstacle of the rock is nothing more than scenery. Next, we're going to glue some rock steps on the back. This was annoying and difficult to film, so I did it off camera, but we will be using the same concept. Now to add the drainage layer, the barrier, and substrate. We will be using two different types of ABG substrate, one for the base and one for the wall. Remember, all pre-made ABG substrates or terrarium substrates are complete scams. Every single one. You can make your own for a lot cheaper and a lot more customized to your needs. As always, you want to slope the substrate up in the back, even in a container as thin as this one, to create depth. In the base, we will be adding two species of moss, silver green bryum moss and generic thread moss, as they grow a little bit faster. On the wall, we will be adding some generic sheet moss. Remember, the moss is under no obligation to work for you, so the rocks in the way made it a little fun. There is some springtails in this moss as I pulled it from one of my grow out containers. It was at this stage that my camera decided to start filming vertically, so I will spare you some of that suffering. When we put the soil in, you'll notice that it's a little bit different composition and that helps it adhere better. And then we just place the moss in, press it down, and let it get to work. Alright, Internet, so we're here about a week later. As I stated, the camera decided to start filming vertically, which really sucks. So this is what it looks like when it starts to grow on a little bit. Just to illustrate some things that you might have, in your experience, you will note that there's a tiny little bit of mold, and that's fairly normal. That's why we add the springtails and stuff like that. Wood, especially, thinner pieces, are pretty much guaranteed to do that, unless you keep it too dry. So it really only becomes a problem if it's persistent or starts to overgrow. You'll also notice there's some condensation on the shoulders there. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. Having condensation in the early morning or evening and then having it be not there during midday is pretty much what you're looking for in terms of water volume. Basically what happens as the temperature inside the glass and outside the glass become too different, the water condenses. So I might let some water out, but for the most part, yeah, this is what it starts to look like as the, moss gets used to being in there a little bit. I live in the desert. It's like 110 degrees during the day. So that's why there's some brown spots, because the moss wasn't the healthiest when we popped it in there. I did let it sit in some high humidity conditions for a couple of days prior. But yeah, it's going all right. This isn't where it normally is. This is just where I have some of the best lighting for camera. The hardest part of this hobby is photographing curved glass.